he turned into almost like a different person, and he said, "Ma'am, I'm gonna need you to get in that little closet in there." Hi everybody, this is Ro. Welcome back to my channel. So do I have a story for you today, all about the time that I thought I was getting strip searched on my way into prison visit. Oh my gosh. Okay, so before we get started, just a couple housekeeping things. If you like my content, make sure that you subscribe down below. Just smash that little notification bell so you never miss future content and a future video. And also give this video a thumbs up so YouTube knows that you like my content and that they could share this to other people who need to see it the most. Oh my gosh. Okay, so let's get into this story. So I was on my way into visiting my husband in prison one morning actually. And as I was getting processed, I was the only one at visit that day, which is so unheard of. And the officer that was processing me into visit was very friendly, and he was talkative that day. So he took my paperwork and he saw the name of the inmate that I was going to see, and he said, "Oh," he said, "you're here to see Clausen." And I was like, "Yeah." And he said, "Man, that is such a shame about his case. That is such a shame what they did to him. And for anybody that's new, or if you don't know the background of my story, Adam is serving a 213 years. Yes, I did not stutter. That is the actual truth. 213-year sentence due to mandatory minimum sentencing laws. Nobody was hurt physically during the commission of his crimes. I have other videos about it. I will link the all of the playlist for all of his videos about his legal stuff and anything that's going on with his case up there, so you guys can watch them if you're new. Anyway, so he said to me, you know, it's disturbing. He's such a great guy. I truly believe that he's going to get his second chance. You guys just keep holding on, which is so sweet. Normally they're not that friendly. Normally they don't really interact with you as much as that man did with me that day. So I was super grateful. We had exchanged a couple of words. We were maybe talking for 5 minutes while he was waiting for a different officer to come from the back, because where I go, you're processed through in a front little building, and then a different officer will come up. So somebody's always at that desk, and that officer that came from the back will wait for the control room to open that door. They'll open up that door, and then they will walk us, it's about 50 yards outside, into a back building, and that's where the visiting room is. So we were waiting for that, and all of a sudden that really nice cop up front kept talking to me, and all of a sudden he turned into almost like a different person, and he said, "Ma'am, I'm gonna need you to get in that little closet in there." And honestly, because we had this little back and forth banter for a couple minutes, I was like, I thought he was kidding. I 100% thought he was joking. He just told me to get into a closet. And so I didn't even know there was a closet there. I looked behind me, and it was, I guess, a makeshift closet. It was a cloth, kind of with a curtain rod, that you could pull open and you could pull it closed. And I was like, "You're kidding, right?" I honestly genuinely thought this man was kidding with me. And he goes, "No, ma'am, I need you to get into the closet." And I'm like, what kind of sick, twisted joke is this man playing on me, that he's telling me all of these nice things about my husband and all of these things like, oh, just stay strong, he'll get out soon, and now all of a sudden he's going to throw me in a closet and strip search me? Is that even legal? Could that even happen? I'm not an inmate. I've never been incarcerated. Why am I getting strip searched? So I walked into the closet, and I'm waiting and I'm waiting and I'm waiting what seemed like an eternity. I was so scared and so nervous in there. I was wearing bangle bracelets on my arm. I was shaking so much because I was so anxious that I was about to get strip searched in this closet that my bangles were shaking and they were making noise. That's how bad it was. So after what seemed like forever, was probably maximum 5 minutes, he goes, "Okay, ma'am, you can come out now." And I walked out, and I was like a WTF face. Like, what was that all about? I was scared. I was nervous. I was stressed. I didn't know what was happening. This had never happened before. I never even noticed this closet thing behind me, nor was I ever told to go in there. And then it was like this false alarm because nobody came in to strip search me. That is God's honest truth. And then part of me was thinking, okay, I'm going to get strip searched. And then I'm nervous. I'm scared. I don't want this to happen. I'm going to walk away. Oh my gosh, cellulite, pale skin. You know how it goes. And then the other part of me was laughing. Prison wife needs a Brazilian. I'll tell you that much. I was like, joke's gonna be on him. This guy thinks he's funny. He's gonna strip search me. Joke's gonna be on him that you guys saw my video about needing nair. And then I'm like, there's so many thoughts going through your head. Like, is this even legal? Doesn't it need to be a woman? This is a man. Can I refuse it? If I refuse it, will I lose my visits forever? If I refuse it, do I lose my visits for all weekend? Can I ask to speak to a lieutenant or the warden or the duty officer if he's going to proceed with trying to strip search me? It was just an awful, emotionally draining, anxious experience. So finally, when he called me out and nothing had happened, like I said, it was max 5 minutes. And he said, do you know why I did that? And I said, no, I don't. Of course I don't. So he goes, that's because the warden was coming through. The warden usually doesn't go into the facility over the weekend, but the warden was passing through, was coming into the facility. And visitors are not allowed to watch the warden and pretty much any staff be processed through, I guess at first security. We're not allowed to watch them get processed through. They have to take off their chit, they call it, like their belt. They have to take off their shoes. So I guess what it's doing is leaving them in a vulnerable position. So they ask visitors to go into this closet and wait for that person to be processed through, to have all of their stuff back on. Safety and security measures is what I'm assuming. And then they pass through, and then they go, and then visitors can come out and continue being processed. So it was nice of him to not make me have to go back into the waiting area, come out from where I was processed. So I had to retake off my jewelry, retake off my shoes, repass all of my belongings through the scanner, kind of like you do at the airport, repass through the metal detector. Instead of me having to do that process all over again, he just allowed me to go into that closet. So I was like, okay, I was kind of shaken for the rest of that whole processing experience. I just felt awkward. I felt uncomfortable. I felt not that I felt violated, but it almost felt like a little violating. Like I literally just thought this man was going to come into a closet with me and tell me to take off all of my clothes, so when I went upstairs and I told Adam what happened, he got very, very serious. And he said, listen to me. You do not ever need to subject yourself to anything like that. He said that's fine that they made you go in there. Because when I told him the man made me go into a closet, his face, Adam is very cool, calm, and collected. And he was cool to me and he was calm, but his face told a whole different story. His face was angry. He was seething on the inside. He was so angry, but he wasn't showing me that he was. Or he was trying not to show me that he was. And then when I continued the story and told him about the warden, he goes, oh yeah, safety and security, whatever. He said, but listen to me very carefully. You never, and this is a lesson for you guys, you never need to subject yourself to something that makes you feel uncomfortable. If anybody ever tells you that you need a... Hey loves, for some reason, the last 4 minutes of that video got corrupt. So I just wanted to come in and try to remember what I was saying on the end of that video. Basically, what I was saying was Adam said, do not ever let anybody tell you that you need to do that. And if they do, you have every right to say no and leave. Anything that makes you feel uncomfortable, they cannot force you to do that. He told me, I will never be mad at you. I will not be upset with you. I want you to put yourself in a position where you feel comfortable. And if they're asking you to do something that makes you feel uncomfortable, such as a strip search, leave. Say no, say that violates, you feel violated and you're leaving. And I asked him, I was like, well, can they even do that? And he paused for a moment and he said, technically, yes, they can, but I want you to leave if that makes you feel uncomfortable. And I think I would be okay with it if it got to the point where it was done correctly, if it was done by a woman, if it was done in a proper manner. But I've been going for over 10 years. I've never once been asked to be strip searched. I've never once been put in a position where they made me feel uncomfortable whatsoever. In fact, a lot of the COs where I go have gone out of their way to make me feel comfortable. So this was just a story time that I wanted to share with you about the time that I thought I was getting strip searched, and it freaked me out beyond belief, but it's never happened before. I don't know any of my friends who've gone in to visit as a visitor that have ever been strip searched. So I don't think it's a risk. Potentially it could happen, but remember you have rights and you have the right to say no thank you and leave. It's just, I don't know if you will lose your visits. I don't know what the ramifications or repercussions would be for that, but I cannot imagine them nixing your visits if you say no to a strip search, especially if it's being done in an illegal manner. So that's it. I just want to leave you guys at that. Keep staying strong, keep loving strong, keep supporting one another through this journey because you're one day closer to it all being behind you. Lots of love from my heart to yours. I will see all of you beautiful ladies and gentlemen in the next one. Bye, guys.